I have titled my talk to Mother Tongue, Biting and Spitting My Own. In a way, like, I feel like biting my own tongue all the time. I guess I'm actually not, when I think it's the language is an interesting thing, particularly because as an artist, I travel a lot, and I usually live in a lot of different countries. So the question always come to me was, do you speak the language? Do you speak that particular language of the country? I think it's quite interesting. I just don't really speak any language anymore. I make a quote here about one day I woke up and realized that I wasn't dreaming in my own mother tongue anymore. So the integration is complete. I have been set free, finally. So I'm going to switch with this note. I'm actually going to switch the language to more of the artistic language that I'm working with in terms of the programming code, in terms of the interface design, and with the idea of how in my work, trying to work with the audience engagement, how do you find a certain language that actually ultimately can reach an audience? In a certain way, I work in many different kind of topic, different theme, and also using different format or different medium, different form. I actually study cinema and going from the cinema to become a video artist doing video installation, and pretty much kind of jump onto the cyberspace in the early 90s when the superhighway was built, right? Remember the superhighway? Anyway, pretty much I want to talk about 3 different works today. And the funny thing is these particular 3 works actually had kind of appear in different format of presentation, but maybe each work does refer to particular topic or theme that I'm exploring. This was last year. There's this new platform called Sedition Art, seditionart.com. I think they are based in London. So they start secure, like approach many artists to put their work online for sale. But the whole Sedition Art is more like function in a very how would you say that I think this is I don't know if everybody knows about it. It's kind of a social network of art sales, yeah. So they're selling the artwork very cheap, so you can be selling your artwork for like 30 euro a piece, but, and then the collector who collect your work gets to have a profile. Yeah, you can see like 25 euro, But I figure, like, since Yoko Ono and Izzy Julian and Wim Wenders, they all on this side, so I thought that I would join also. Anyway, so last year I put out this, what they call a collection, including 3 pieces of work, which is under the title of Data Hack. And this includes 3 pieces of work. One is called reading, and then typing, and then seeding. It's the funny thing is, like, the 3 pieces of work actually come from totally different installation or different web work. However, for the Sedition Art, they can only sell high definition video or digital photo. So the 3 work was turned into a sort of a video display, and it's being sold this way. I don't know if we're gonna get to this, but anyway, the point I want to actually bring up is about how do I switch the format in terms of a project or an artwork. Maybe I would start with the the project reading is actually from this project called Composting the Net. In the sense that we are talking about digital future, it's interesting to bring up this work, to talk about it. 2 years ago, I got very bored before Christmas, so I decided to go back and do a web art, net art, like totally working with the net with no budget. So what I did is that taking up a different archive or the mailings, like the necktie, the spectra, this one is the there's different ones like score. There's also the aha in Italy, but Manny is thinking about like all these years, the whole network digital community has been outputting a lot of our wisdom onto the internet, by using mailing lists, and all these have been very much open archive that you can go back to the necktie archive from 1992, or the Spectra as a kind of European sort of network platform to learn about news that also have many different different posting all the time. So the project actually it's a kind of live mining of all these open data. So what I did is sort of go through all the archive or the mailing lists that it kind of got random retrieved, and because it's called composting the net. So I'm into composting. I also have another project called composting the city, sort of. Yeah. So the composting the net became a project of how I process all these digital archive, or sort of the what would you say, the human collective commons of digital intelligence into compost. So you kind of can see the little sprouts going out of the literary breakdown of this project. It's you could actually, if you click on the space bar, you can actually read the posting that's been out there, but it's quite it's a lot, yeah. So, but it's quite interesting. Sometimes I also do performance with this piece. Someone was asking me, like, I don't know if this one still work. I also got a commission one time from the school in Netherlands to compost their archive, so they actually give me the access to their whole archive of material so that I can compost them. But maybe this one is not quite working because I think recently they shut down their they do shut down their website, I think. Anyway, then I want to mention this other work called the seeding. Again, the seeding is actually came from another project called Seeds Underground. And this is a project I did. It started out with, reflect on the whole GMO, the seeds. And I think 2 years ago, particularly the European Union was about to pass a law that making the exchange of the seeds illegal. So I started very concerned about this issue and decided to pretty much do a project with sort of just holding Seeds Underground party. So of course this is in terms of exchange seeds has been practiced quite a lot. People do exchange seeds and all that. So the project actually bring together different, I kind of staged the Seeds Underground party in different city, for example, and with a marking of where I hold the party, and then there's a trade. There's the fact is one can actually go in what you trade, and then you can grow it, and you would have a geolocation of the seeds you grow out of. So it's a kind of It's really quite it's quite interesting to see. Maybe I see if I can get to one of those photos that this was a party held at Fallowfield in London, for example. This is what I was afraid of with the internet. Okay, so it's just wild, you know. You make an open call for people to bring seeds and then make the exchange, and people do come with the bags of seeds, and it was really a lot of fun. And you know, we also harvest the seeds at the spot, and you know, it's a interesting project, quite engaged. However, again, this work also got switched into another form. What happened is I took up the, you know, in the beginning I took up the whole court documents from a court case. This is back in 2013 with Vernon Bowman versus Monsanto. And so it's really all about that, you know, the farmers in the United States particularly is really not allowed to harvest the seeds or keep the seeds for next year. So every year you actually had to buy the seeds from Monsanto, and it's quite, you know, it has been a debate quite for some time. Now, with this particular project, and I also did another installation with this project. Seeds Underground, I also did a web installation with it. In this web installation, you know, you can read the whole court documents or the whole court proceeding between the farmers' lawyers and the Monsanto's lawyers, you know, basically a lot about the argument or the run-up seeds and all that. At the same time, the web interface actually sort of turning all the words from the court document into seeds. So this is about a 20 minutes piece that, you know, you kind of read it and then the words turn into seeds. And at the end, the whole court document became just seeds. So it's kind of funny having another format of this particular project. Then I want to talk about baby work, and again in the collection, it was just more of a HD video that was presented from the internet, the web, grabbing the web, you know. But the web interface, the baby work particularly. This is the project is part of the Locker Baby project I also introduced the other day at the Pechakucha, but the baby work alone is actually work with a lot of ideas. I mean, the idea is really more like my farewell to the keyboard technology. So the project actually taken up a lot of it takes up the keyboards, you know, use the recycled junk keyboards, and I basically unplug all the keys and making the take out the membrane of the keyboard, and that it became a installation with a lot of membrane keys, and then people have to put the keyboard back and to connect the whole keyboard back in function. It actually does function. That you can actually type the keys on the website, and it has all the kind of electronic sound that bring you back to the sort of electronic age. And anyway, so however, again, the project is done as an installation. As an installation, usually what I did is I work with a local electronic recycle company and asked them to give me a lot of old keyboards, and then there is the whole process of the whole process of trying to disengage all the keyboards and all the keys and take out the membrane, testing if the membrane still works, and then put it out as an installation. So yeah, it's very much about the digital memory, I think. With this piece, finally I finished my Lacquer Baby project trilogy, and this was done in 2012. I think pretty much this work, after this work, I figure I already say goodbye to the sort of digital keyboard, electronic technology. I have also been working a lot with internet, the e-waste, and also a lot of my work is actually set in the post-net, sort of post-net time, in terms of the kind of science fiction future that I imagine. I sort of want to announce myself as I enter into the liquid future and enter the bionet. I had this project that I sort of took up the human body as a hostage and turning the human body into the bionet. So all the blood cells become computing units. And this is an installation, actually more like a game that you actually work with biosensor. And the biosensor senses taken over your body data in terms of your blood flow, your heartbeat, and it actually affects the whole game. And you have to defeat the blood cells to, well, to gain back your orgasm data. You know, it's a kind of complicated story.